Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 16th of October, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index, as always, just recovering a little bit here through the cloud this morning. So last week's sell off in the dollar index, we see that here on the weekly chart. We see that on the daily chart. We just had that last few days here. We see it on the 60-minute chart, really showing through more clearly. Just starting to recover now. We haven't activated this downside target. The dollar seems to be finding some support, but we've got resistance to fight here on the longer term. Looking at the euro, we see the euro is actually selling off as well, so that's looking a little bit more bearish. And just rolling off the top here. Will it find support or will it come back through the cloud? That's the bigger question. We've got an upside target that's not activated, and we've got downside targets that are activated, and we are just sitting on support there. That's where we bounced. So this 116, 117 level is pretty key. Looking at Japanese yen, we see the yen is falling lower, and so dollar weakness here. Just against the yen, and that's continuing. So the yen longer term, dollar is actually making a transition, but we're just rolling over yen strength at the moment. Sterling holding the 133 level against the dollar, so looking a little bit stronger than the dollar, and stronger against the euro as well, sitting at 112, so much stronger there too. Looking at sterling Swiss, we see that sterling is holding its own here as well, and against the Aussie dollar, not quite as strong, so Aussie dollar strength kicking in there. Looking at the US stock market, we finished Friday above the 255 level, so 2,553. So we're just holding those gains sideways pretty much the last few days of last week, but still looking very strong. And the Nasdaq recovery continues as well, looking strong on all three time frames, as does the Dow. The Russell 2000 did pull back a little bit, so it has been flat the last couple of weeks. This month has been fairly flat, but it has had an amazing run several weeks before that. The S&P future virtually unchanged today, and the Nasdaq E-mini just up very slightly, 0.11%. So no real heads up as to which way the Nasdaq will open at the moment. FTSE 100 is up very slightly this morning, but very flat the last few days, and the FTSE 250 down very slightly. Also just holding the gains, but and still looking strong on all three time frames. The DAX back above 13,000 this morning, looking strong again. Shortage of medium and short-term targets there, and the Nikkei looking stronger again, making now 2-year highs here, so really looking quite strong. The Nasdaq. The Hang Seng looking strong, and in the Shanghai market just falling back a little bit, but still looking strong on all three time frames. And the Sensex, the Indian market, really jumping, looking a lot better as it pushes for new highs. The Australian market continues its short-term run, breaking out and running higher. So this market looking the best it's looked for several months. Brent crude is up at 57.93, so that's pretty bullish in the high 50s. We do have these upside targets here of 60 and 78.58, which is not yet activated on the medium-term chart. We do have a target here of 60.1, so it'd be interesting to see whether we can actually break above 60 on Brent crude. WTI sitting at $52, so $52 a barrel. So we are just seeing here renewed strength on crude oil. US nat gas fell back below the $3 level on Friday. So just struggling there at that mark. Copper really jumps this morning, and so we're seeing a really big move there. So that's looking pretty strong. Gold also looking stronger. We're seeing gold back above the $1,300 level. We've got this 1331 target to play for. So that's really quite key. Gold looking stronger, bullish on all three time frames. Silver also looking stronger, not quite as bullish on the long-term chart, but still looking pretty good. US Treasury yield sitting at 2.29%, so just back below the 2.3 level. Apple still looking strong in its recovery, bullish on all three time frames. Google also looking strong. Amazon holding its strength, not quite yet bullish on the medium term, but still looking pretty good on the other charts. Facebook looking stronger, nudging this 175 level with good upside targets, and Microsoft also looking strong with good upside targets as well. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.